Let's discuss the concept of the subconscious mind and the idea that there's no need to impress anything upon it. Is there even a subconscious mind, or is it just another assumption like so many others? Let's dive into this. The term unconscious or subconscious was first introduced by Sigmund Freud, who essentially invented this concept to better explain or understand the causes of mental illness. But does a subconscious mind truly exist? Nowadays, we take this for granted, but at one point it wasn't a universally accepted idea, just like many other things. This is what the law of assumption suggests: everything you believe to be true must become true, regardless of its previous state of existence. If you assume something exists, it will, because imagination knows no bounds. Consciousness is limitless, and you can shape it into any concept. If you accept it as your truth, it will become your truth. Do we genuinely have a subconscious mind? Modern science claims we do, but why? How does science reach such conclusions? If you begin with the premise that a subconscious mind exists and continue to explore this idea, you'll eventually find evidence of its existence. You move into a reality where the subconscious mind is real, and the more you delve into it, the more you'll uncover. This is how the idea emerged that the subconscious is blind and must be impressed upon, because it knows nothing outside of what you tell it. But we often treat the subconscious as something separate from us. My dear, there is no subconscious. Freud, a brilliant mind, sought an explanation for why we repeat patterns and experience mental illness, and in his search, he found something. But what he named the subconscious is merely the choices you make every day without being fully aware of them. You keep choosing to view situations from the same perspective and give the same meanings to your life and experiences. Just because you're not fully conscious of what you're doing, you call these hidden or limiting beliefs that control your life. No, my dear, you can fix this by becoming aware of your thoughts, by being present with yourself as much as possible, and by monitoring what's in your mind. Why do you assume certain things about specific situations? That's all you need to do. Nothing is lurking beneath the surface. There are no hidden beliefs or assumptions. If I ask you right now what you think about your financial situation, you'll know what to tell me. If I ask about your specific person, SP, you'll know. You know exactly what you assume to be true in these areas of your life. Nothing is hidden, and there's no need to impress anything. Is it true that through repetition you can accept a new truth over time? Yes, that's true, but you don't need to mindlessly repeat anything. The only thing required to change yourself or your world, which is the same thing, is to change your opinion about what's happening, to view whatever is in front of you from a different perspective. Don't believe me? Think back to when you first assumed that your SP was losing feelings for you, or that they were becoming distant. It wasn't a matter of repetition. You observed their actions and behavior, and you changed your mind about them. It wasn't through repetition. Yes, after that, you continued to entertain this new perspective repeatedly. And that's true, but a change of mind doesn't require repetition. It's very straightforward and happens instantly. So there is a much simpler approach to changing your life, my dear, to manifesting something different. Can you take the route of repetition? Yes, of course. Can it be productive? Yes, it can. But listen, there's a much shorter path. Just become aware of your thoughts, my dear. Why am I thinking what I'm thinking right now? Why am I assuming that because they haven't responded in the last 4 hours? They want nothing to do with me. Do I need to repeat the opposite to myself? No. Realize that your assumptions are wrong. You're viewing the situation from the wrong perspective. That's all you're doing, my dear. I understand the fixation some people have on manifesting their SP, especially if you're in contact with this person. I understand your fixation on the 3D world, trying to figure out if you're doing things right based on their behavior towards you. I get it. But understand this: when you're in a relationship with someone, life sometimes gets in the way. Just because you haven't spoken for 4 hours doesn't mean anything. Look at yourself when you know you're in a committed relationship with someone. It doesn't matter if 5 hours have passed since you last spoke, you're relaxed, because you know you're in a relationship with this person. You know life got in the way, and you're at ease. Now, compare that to when you think you don't have what you want, and the same scenario occurs. 5 hours pass without communication, and look at your tendency to overthink and fixate on what it means. See how the same situation can lead to two very different states of being. It's not the same if you look at it from the perspective of knowing that this person is yours, and you're in a committed relationship versus looking at it through the eyes of doubt and lack. So again, did you need to affirm that this person would leave you, lose feelings for you, or find someone else? No, you didn't. So why are you doing it now? Again, can repetition eventually lead you to accept a new assumption? Yes, it can, but go directly to the assumption. Assumption means perspective, my dear. You assume what's happening. We are always assuming things, everything, and anything. An assumption is a supposition, a point of view. I can look at the 5 hours that have passed without communication as a sign of something wrong, or I can see it as, life gets in the way. It's okay, they're still mine. It's still happening. My dear, this is an assumptive world, as Neville said, and he was so right. Whatever you assume to be true, you will find proof for that. This is science as well. What do you think science really is? Just think about it. Someone starts with a premise and works to prove it empirically. Of course, if you start from a certain point of view, you're going to see it reflected in the outside world. And when you change your mind, you will see that change in the external world as well. Is science something set in stone? No, it's always changing, always adapting to our perspectives. Not too long ago, we believed our genes were responsible for our illnesses until epigenetics emerged. Have you heard of Dr. Bruce Lipton? Listen to him if you want a more scientific point of view on these things. Science is always evolving because we are always evolving, and you can't go wrong, I assure you. Whatever you assume to be true, whatever you can imagine to be true, it must become true. Truth doesn't have only one face, my dear, it has the face you give it. How do you give truth its face? By assuming something to be true, by imagining something in a certain way. It's a guarantee that you will experience it just as you imagined. So again, my dear, it doesn't matter whether you believe in the subconscious or not. That's not the important part. The important part is this: realize you don't have to impress anything upon yourself. You're just creating another rule, another condition between you and your fulfilled desire. Thinking you have to do something before you can have what you want is just adding another layer of complexity. And it doesn't matter if it's scientifically proven, it's still a condition, something you believe you must achieve first before you can have what you desire. And I'm telling you now, you can skip this step. You can skip the process of impressing your subconscious. Do it like God does it, like Source does it. Source imagines itself to be something, and then it takes the form of that thing, both internally and externally. It's instantaneous. Some of you also ask about how long it takes for something to manifest. It's instantaneous, dear, because manifesting is about experiencing. Manifestation isn't about getting something in the physical world that's just a side effect, a byproduct of your experience. So if I consider myself poor right now, I'm experiencing poverty, and it has nothing to do with my bank account. Can you experience something without it existing in the physical world? Yes, you can. Do you want to do the lemon experiment again? I guarantee you'll salivate over an imaginary lemon. So do you need a physical, 3D object to make you feel something? You don't. Manifestation means expression, experience, so it's instantaneous. Again, my dear, try to let go of all the unnecessary rules, all the things you think you need to do before you can have what you want, not even impressing your subconscious mind. If you want to go that route, then go that route, but it's going to take longer. I'm just showing you a more direct way to approach things. You simply decide who you are, and from that point forward, you view your life through that lens. This is also what it means to live in the end of the wish fulfilled. I decide that I'm a millionaire, and I look at my life through that lens. It's really that simple. I don't have to pretend to be a millionaire. I don't have to keep up appearances. I just know that, among all the things I am also this, and I choose to live in this truth from now on. Do you understand? I don't have to impress anything upon my subconscious. Is there even a subconscious mind? It's just an assumption. And I know the feedback on this video will be intense, but I don't care. Strip away all these unnecessary rules. You don't need them. If I think I need to wear certain crystals before I can manifest my desires, or if it has to be a certain manifestation portal, this is no different from thinking I need to impress my subconscious mind. You might think you're smarter than those who believe they need crystals to manifest something, but you're not. It's the same thing. The only difference is what you believe you need to do before you can have what you want. Wearing a crystal or impressing your subconscious mind, it's the same. Be smarter, my dear, because you are. Just realize it's an assumptive world. Whatever I assume to be true about my situation, about myself, about others, that's how things will appear. I'm going to experience it first internally and then externally. If I think 5 hours have passed and my SP hasn't messaged me back, and I believe I'm being ignored, then I am being ignored. I'm experiencing that in the moment. And if I stay in that assumption, call it repetition, call it persistence, if I remain in that mindset, it will become my entire reality. It is in the moment, but you know what I mean, it will become the truth. As Neville said, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, becomes a fact. That's what he means. Even if your person isn't ignoring you, even if life or work just got in the way, the more time you spend in that assumption, the more you experience it internally, the more it will manifest externally as well. Do you see how it works? So yes, that's all I have to say about impressing your fictitious subconscious mind. You don't need it. You are the mind, the entirety of it. There's no separation, even though we sometimes use that term. Just know there's no separation. When you think there's a subconscious mind that needs you to do things for it, you're creating more separation. It's like you think your subconscious has free will. But you have free will. You, as consciousness, are everything, including the mind, the body, and all things. You are all things. So don't make it harder on yourself by following unnecessary rules. Make your own rules now. Okay, thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.